So, about a year ago, I did a video on Mary, diving into her origins, the meaning behind her lore, and the connections between Marie Antoinette, Mary, and Mary de Capet. But now, I've found even more interesting stuff to add to my theory, so I figured it's time to revisit her story. We've got this character relation sheet, but there's still one part labeled with a big question mark. What's it supposed to be? That's what we're here to figure out. Let's piece together every hint and clue and see if we can crack the mystery. This is your broadcaster, Selmina, signing in. Alright, let's start by taking a look at Mary, the Bloody Queen. Many of you might already know that she's not just inspired by the Bloody Mary urban legend. She actually takes a lot of inspiration from Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France. We can see this connection in a few places, especially in her teaser trailer, her deduction quest, and her first letter. If you haven't know about Marie Antoinette, here's a quick backstory. Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France and married to King Louis XVI. Their rule didn't last long because France was going through a rough time. The economy was failing, but the royal family kept spending money on luxuries, which made people angry. Marie was even called Madame Deficit because of her spending habits. All of this, along with other issues like a big scandal over a diamond necklace and the unfair social structure known as the Three Estates, sparked the French Revolution, where people rose up and overthrew the monarchy. At first, Louis and Marie were allowed to live as symbolic figures, but then they tried to escape to Austria to gather support and take back the throne. This attempt failed, and they were caught. After that, they were labeled as traitors and sentenced to death by guillotine. So, with Mary's first letter, fans were pretty sure that the Bloody Queen was meant to be a ghostly version of Marie Antoinette. But when her second letter came out, things started to get a bit more confusing. Mary's second letter mentions Marie Antoinette, but from a perspective that sounds like it's from the future. This creates a contradiction, since in all her earlier lore, Mary the Bloody Queen was implied to be Marie Antoinette, or at least her ghostly spirit. Plus, it hints that there isn't just one Mary, which only makes things more confusing for fans. Things get even murkier, or maybe slightly clearer in 2023, when Ashes of Memory was released. That's when we were introduced to yet another Mary, Mary de Capet, whose maiden name was Mary Kreiburg. Here's her backstory. Mary Kreiburg was an Austrian noblewoman who caught the attention of an Irish nobleman, Manus De Capet. He fell in love with her, they married, and she took his name, becoming Mary de Capet. Not long after their wedding, though, Mary started feeling lonely and depressed because she didn't have many social activities to enjoy. To cheer her up, Manus gifted her a racecourse, named after her maiden name, the Kreiburg Racecourse. This racecourse quickly became popular, even earning a reputation as the most exciting event in town. Mary was delighted and went to the races frequently, but then tragedy struck. Mary was found dead at the racecourse, having apparently hanged herself. There are two main theories about her death. One suggests it was actually a murder, covered up to look like suicide. The other, which is the one I lean toward, suggests Mary took her own life, after rumors started spreading that she was having an affair with one of the jockeys, which is the one who rides a horse named Cyanus, and often win the race. Manus De Capet became the new owner of the Oletis Manor, probably after the tragic Duras incident, where the entire family was massacred, leaving only a little girl as the sole survivor. Manus was an Irish nobleman who fell in love with Mary Kreiburg, a noblewoman from Austria. After marrying her, he brought her to England. To lift her spirits, he gifted her a racecourse named after her maiden name, Kreiburg. Sadly, as we know, Mary met a tragic end at the racecourse, apparently hanging herself. Not long after her death, a terrible stampede happened at the Kreiburg racecourse, which led to a long lawsuit against Manus. Whether it was this lawsuit, Mary's death, or both, it's said that Manus eventually went mad and then disappeared without a trace. With Manus gone, creditors put the Oletus manor up for sale. Frederick, the playable composer, was also introduced during Ashes of Memory. While there's a lot to his story, we'll skip most of it, since we're focused on cracking the question mark around Mary and the hunter bloody queen. Plus, his lore doesn't have as many hints yet. What we do know is that Frederick is connected to Mary in some way. Some fans think their mothers might have been sisters. In Ashes of Memory, Chapter 2, it's widely believed that Alice actually saw Frederick as the Bloody Queen. Here's how. Alice, under the influence of drugs given by the manor owner and hearing stories about Mary Kreiburg and Marie Antoinette from Orpheus over breakfast, may have ended up imagining Frederick as the Bloody Queen in her mind, possibly hallucinating. If that's true, then the link between Frederick and the Bloody Queen could be a case of an ID switch. Since this hasn't been confirmed by the developers though, we'll keep it as a theory for now. We don't know much about Amalia Kreiburg, other than that she was Frederick's mother and loved him deeply, even though her husband despised Frederick because of a particular physical condition. At one point, Amalia wrote letters to someone with the initial M, which many fans believe was Mary de Capet. In these letters, she shared her struggles, like how her husband refused to hold Frederick or even baptize him, and how she wants to go back to France, but couldn't do so. Up to the second letter, Mary the Bloody Queen's backstory referred to Marie Antoinette, but later on, it seems to go towards Mary de Capet. The question is, why? What's the relation between the two? I'll put a clear answer to this one. Marie Antoinette's life mirrors to what Mary de Capet had been through. Let's delve into it case by case, starting from the Bloody Queen's deduction quest. Mary's first deduction quest mentions a contract signed by Maria Theresa, who was the mother of Maria Antonia, better known as Marie Antoinette. This reminds us that Marie Antoinette's marriage to King Louis XVI was mostly for political reasons rather than love. However, in the case of Mary de Capet, it seems that both Mary and Manus truly cared for each other. Still, since both were nobles, people may have gossiped that their marriage was also just a strategic alliance. We also hear about the king's brother mocking him and waiting to inherit the throne, as well as whispers about the queen's lack of children. Historically, this checks out. After their marriage, Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI didn't consummate it for 7 years, as they weren't especially fond of each other. During this time, rumors began circulating about the king and queen, including a scandal that Marie was having an affair. The king's brother, Louis XVIII, was even suspected of spreading these rumors, as he would have taken the throne if the king didn't produce an heir. Mary de Capet's life might have similar issues. After her marriage, there was no sign of any children, which, possibly, made her the target of vicious rumors, including accusations of infidelity. Mary's second deduction quest mentions the Petit Trianon, a private retreat gifted to Marie Antoinette by King Louis XVI. This place allowed Marie to escape from court gossip, strict customs, and endless duties. Similarly, Manus De Capet gave Mary the Kreiburg racecourse to lift her spirits, as she felt isolated due to limited social opportunities. We also see references to Marie Antoinette's self-focused nature. She was largely unaware of the harmful rumors circulating about her, and didn't realize the power these rumors would eventually have. Mary de Capet's situation likely mirrored this. Like Marie, she didn't fully grasp how much damage gossip could cause. Tragically, this may have led to her downfall, as she eventually lost her life, possibly as a consequence of these rumors. Mary's third deduction quest brings up Princess Lamballe, who is Marie Antoinette's closest and most loyal friend. The French public, already hostile toward Marie, circulated pamphlets accusing Princess Lamballe of being Marie's lover, trying to scandalize their friendship. In Mary de Capet's story, this seems to parallel her connection with Cyanus's jockey. When there's little comfort in marriage, close friendships become even more meaningful. It's possible that Mary and the jockey grew fond of each other as friends, and maybe Mary developed a light-hearted affection for him. The deduction quest hints at shameful secrets between Marie and Lamballe, which could be mirrored by rumors surrounding Mary and the jockey. If this theory holds, it could mean that, more than anything, what Mary cherished most was her connection with the jockey. The fourth deduction quest introduces us to the Countess of Polignac, Gabrielle de Palastron, who served as Marie Antoinette's lady-in-waiting and chief secretary. Unfortunately, Gabrielle faced criticism from the French public for her lavish lifestyle, which only fueled the rumors and negative perceptions surrounding the Queen. This situation mirrors Mary de Capet's experience, where rumors also played a significant role in her life. Just as the Countess's extravagant behavior brought unwanted attention and gossip, Mary likely faced similar challenges, with rumors impacting her reputation and relationships. In the next deduction quest, we learn that Marie Antoinette finally gave birth to a daughter. The statement that the Queen of France giving birth was not a purely private family matter highlights how every detail of her life was subject to public scrutiny, whether it was true or not. This was likely the case for Mary de Capet as well. The rumors surrounding her alleged affair indicate that the public was highly aware of her personal life and actions. Just like Marie, Mary found herself under the watchful eyes of society, where every aspect of her existence became fodder for gossip. In the next deduction quest, we find limited information, but it highlights the aftermath of the French Revolution and the role of rumors in shaping public opinion. While many figures are mentioned, the overarching theme remains the destructive power of gossip. This suggests that even after the revolution, rumors continued to influence how people viewed the monarchy and its members, contributing to the ongoing turmoil and hostility toward them. Unfortunately, without more specific clues, it's difficult to draw direct connections to Mary de Capet's story from this quest. However, it reinforces the idea that rumors played a significant role in the tragic fates of both Mary de Capet and Queen Marie Antoinette. Deduction quests 7 and 8 can be hard to understand. I've tried my best to figure out quest 7, but it's still a bit unclear. Here's what I think. In quest 7, the focus is on the nobility declaring war on the rebels without thinking about the king's safety. This could show the chaos and desperation of the revolution, where personal interests were more important than the monarchy's well-being. This may relate to Mary de Capet's struggles with the pressures of society. Quest 8 focuses on Princess Lamballe choosing to stay with Marie Antoinette, which, historically true. Princess Lamballe, even after being fired by Marie Antoinette, chose to remain loyal to her during a raid at the palace, and believed to have met her very end at the hand of the mob. This highlights loyalty and the tragic consequences of supporting those in power. Her death at the hands of the mob represents the dangers faced by those loyal to the monarchy, which is similar to Mary's vulnerabilities in a society that had turned against her. The 9th deduction quest talks about rumors. People already disliked Marie Antoinette and spread even more false stories about her, which ultimately led to her death. This is similar to what happened to Mary. Rumors also contributed to her demise. The same theme appears in the final deduction quest as well. There are some interesting similarities between what's written in her letters and Mary de Capet's life. Let's check out the first birthday letter. It talks about the diamond necklace scandal involving Marie Antoinette. Basically, it was a fraud where a bunch of people tried to buy this super expensive necklace, and Marie ended up being the innocent victim caught in the mess. Even though she was cleared in court, rumors spread that she wanted the necklace, which hurt her reputation and helped kick off the French Revolution. From this, we can conclude that rumors are at the heart of the downfall for both Marie Antoinette and Mary de Capet. In the second birthday letter, we see the marriage certificate of King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, signed by both of them. But Marie's signature looks a bit odd, almost like she didn't really want to sign it. This sparked rumors that she wasn't truly on board with marrying Louis XVI, leading to more false accusations against her. See? Rumors strike again. There's an interesting point in the second letter where it says, "She was not the only princess, nor the only Mary." This made me wonder what it really means. Could it imply that Marie Antoinette wasn't the only one leading a miserable life? If that's the case, who else could it be? The only other Mary we know in the game is Mary de Capet, so it seems like the letter is suggesting that her life was just as difficult as Marie Antoinette's. This idea gets some support in the third letter, where a noblewoman in France starts crying after reading a tragic novel. She feels a deep connection to the story, and I think NetEase is trying to draw parallels between Marie Antoinette and Mary de Capet in this moment. The big question is, who is this noblewoman? Well, the only noblewoman we know from France in the game is Amalia Kreiburg, who has mentioned wanting to go back to France. Could it be that Amalia cried after reading the novel because it reminded her of Mary Kreiburg? I think there's a good chance of that, especially since the clues are pointing in that direction. Plus, it's interesting to note that Amalia Kreiburg is believed to be based on Maria Amalia of Parma, who struggled with depression after her sister, Marie Antoinette, died. This could mean that Amalia Kreiburg is also mourning the loss of Mary Kreiburg, creating a parallel between their stories. But of course, we'll need to wait for more clues or for NetEase to reveal the full story, and who knows when that will happen. Now, in her fourth letter, a couple of things stand out. First, it mentions Mary de Capet's servant, who wants to go back to the Kreiburg family and tell them about Mary's death. The servant's loyalty makes me think of Princess Lamballe in Marie Antoinette's life. In the latest letter, one line really stood out to me. This seems to wrap up Marie Antoinette's story and signals the start of a new chapter for another Mary. And since the only real Mary we know in this game is Mary de Capet, it looks like her saga is just beginning. It's like Marie's life sets the stage for Mary's story to unfold. Aside from the letters and quests, one thing that really makes the Bloody Queen's story intriguing is her skill. We all know she summons a mirror and creates a mirror image. But why a mirror? Why is that her core ability? She could have had any other skill, like dashing, but they chose a mirror for her. If you think the mirror is just a random detail in her story, think again. There are so many mirrors throughout her lore, in her posters, and even in the trailer for her SS tier skin. Plus, in Mary de Capet's scene in Ashes of Memory, mirrors play a big role too. Maybe the mirrors symbolize that Mary de Capet's life reflects Marie Antoinette's life. Same sad story, same tragic ending. It's like the mirror is showing us that history is repeating itself. So, to wrap things up, what does the question mark between Mary Kreiburg and the Bloody Queen mean? Well, from all the clues we've seen, I think the question mark shows that their lives are similar to each other, or, in other terms, a reflection. But again, I want to stress that this is just my theory based on the clues I found. If you have a different opinion, feel free to share it in the comments. This is your broadcaster, Selmina, signing off. See you next time!